All right, here we go.
Ready?
Not really. Okay, this is the Big Daddy Road Show, podcast number 55, part 2. Hardwired to self-destruct. Lance Romance.
Sing, man. This makes me want to sing.
Lance, I had you in a cage.
Papa Hetfield, motherfucker.
I had Lance in a cage. I told him, don't say a word till we come back live.
Just couldn't do it.
Couldn't handle it. There's Lars beating up the drum skins. That's a good band.
Well, you got to think about it over the years, man. They're in their 50s, and they're kicking it, man.
Yeah, and it's a good song for this week. Politically, in America...
Hardwired
to self-destruct. Let's hope not. Prayers for America.
Amen.
2016, 2017 political season is insanity.
The most you're here on this planet spinning the only global home that we know of to this day, and look at you, man. Look at me. This is the only home we have, and I think to this day, this is the most incredible, crazy, most insane circus ride that we have ever seen.
Yeah, it makes you think like back at the Civil War times when before the shit happened, before all the Richie Riches sat on a hill and watched the fight from miles away. Do you know that happened? Do you know that they actually did that?
Absolutely.
Elites from New York City went down and with their carriages and whatnot. Oh, hit that heat off a second. We don't heat. Who wants heat while we're doing the road show?
Well, you ain't gonna have none as long as these carbon taxes go through. We won't have nothing like that. So might as well get used to it.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is where we're at. This is where this show is like a volleyball game. Ball goes over the net, and somebody hits the ball. Yeah, it's like what really is going on? I mean, let's talk about so you have the super elites, then you have just the super mega wealthy, then you have like just super wealthy, then wealthy. Then you got like people with a little bit more than average.
Right there, stop. Bah. That's where the Bernie Sanders front and all those guys focused on. They don't like people making more than them, and they didn't think that was right, and so they needed some equal part of it. But what they have failed to understand until recently, when Sanders started understanding, if you bottom line the middle class in this country, there is no growth, there is no prosperity, everybody perishes. And just recently, he's jumped on the Trump train, and he started to realize, hey, I've had the Democrats completely push me out. I've had my delegates completely stolen from freaking the bitch herself, and he's starting to freaking come out and say it. And I'm
you're
loving
telling
it.
me Bernie's jumping on the Trump train?
Old man Bernie's starting to jump on the Trump train because people start to understand to the extent of where we're at, where the dollar is worth bullshit. If you had $1,000, and this is the typical amount right now, they're calling on all Americans to have in their bank account $1,000 or less. 90% of us.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Seriously, same here. And
the cash you have under your bed mattress is really
right.
That could be useless tomorrow too, right?
Because nobody does it anymore.
No, but the point is, even if you have a bed full of cash, you could wake up one day and those dollars are worth bazillion.
They weren't worth shit. They haven't been worth shit for about 22. Almost 50 years. They've been regulated to the point where there's nothing left of them. So it's based off of whatever the economy is making money on. And to the past 50 years, it's been war. So Lockheed Martin and all these freaking big things. This just exactly goes back to exactly what
you better drink some of that pickle juice, brother.
This is exactly what Eisenhower warned us of, the military-industrial complex, and it has nothing to do with our military men and women in combat getting sent into these bullshit fucking
wars. The people who
put
them in positions.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the collaborate. It's against all of us who don't get. They don't care. You look at what Kissinger said about the military men. It's all common fodder. They don't give a flying fuck about any of them, and he openly said it. And he's one of the biggest freaking advisors to all of our presidents for all the way back to the 50s.
So let me break in there. We have a lot of people listening that are in the armed services. So what do you guys think of this? Like, what do you think of these people that pull the strings and push the buttons and you guys have to react? I mean, these are for the American team, right? You work for the American people, I believe, and you are working for the president, right? That's your chief. That's your boss man, right? Am I right? That's the president's the boss of the military, correct?
Well, here's something that I've had happen to me recently that throughout the past 20 years that I've been down this damn rabbit hole that I've never experienced in my life before. I've talked to ex-generals, returning veterans, probably more so in the past 2 years than I've ever had in my life. I had to meet some very incredible people that had some very decent positions within our military. They all admitted that the stand down to Obama by putting boots on the ground in Syria, every single one of them knew that would spark World War III. They had nothing, wanted nothing to do with it. They all told him to go pound sand. A couple of the top brass are not with us anymore, and they died in very mysterious ways. And this is no bullshit. This is no conspiracy theory. It was investigated. The investigations were shut down.
Was it on the major media?
This is the stink. No, not at all. This is the stink that goes on and on and on and on.
Why wouldn't that be on major media?
Because they ain't true. What did we talk about the whole last thing? How do we do this? We want to talk about the people in the field who is supposed to are there primarily from birth to keep true justice upon all of us. That means you and me, and that means our government too. That is the investigators. That means the people that were schooled to how to do the investigations, and they no longer do that when they come right out of the fucking CIA and plant major plants within the CNN broadcasting network.
So what you're saying right now on the Big Daddy Road Show
is all fluff.
That journalism is infested with all kinds of people just completely spewing bullshit.
Absolutely, completely.
And it's a spin game. Everything's spun.
Exactly it. Because here's the deal. You look at the past 8 years and what Obama has done. Where's the focus? Where is his legacy? You know what the legacy is? And I can't stand all those liberals who stand up for him, and they know it. Half of them at least know it. He has spun the divide, the racial divide within this country.
I don't think they know it.
More
I don't
so,
think they know it.
Well, then
they have. Listen,
if they're that stupid, then we're in really big trouble.
Here's the deal. There's no way, unless you're living under a rock, you think that relations are better. Here's where we are currently. We got police being ambushed and murdered in the street. And where's the outrage? You got Chicago, which is the city that Obama hails from, right? I mean, a lot of his crew come out of Chicago.
Look who Rahm Emanuel. Look who runs it.
Right, but look at all the murders that go on in the city of Chicago. Like, where are they?
Look at the gun laws. Look at the gun laws. You cannot defend yourself in that goddamn city. So why do you think the goddamn murder is the murder capital of the world?
The people that are doing all the murdering and shooting, they have guns. I mean, so what are those laws helping the good people?
What happens?
How is that happening?
What happens if everybody else was able to carry a gun in that fucking county?
More importantly, though, why are our leaders looking the other way to obvious bullshit?
That's it.
If there's that many murders, if it's like the number one murder city in the country, some people need to look at it and go, our leaders really don't care about certain sections of the country.
They don't care about any of us. They care about their lobbyists and their padding of their damn wallet and the protection of their own damn family going forward and the goddamn universe.
So what you're saying is these guys live high on the hill.
On this planet as humanity.
These guys live high on the hill, high on the hog. They live in gated communities away from the average masses. They get on TV and they tell the population what the population needs to hear, but the population, you're saying, is getting tired of it.
They're absolutely getting tired of it. If you go to Alexa.com and you look at CNBC, MSNBC, NBC, NPR, ABC,
WNBC,
all these guys, and
WNBC.
You look at the participation, which Alexa is there to do, and you gotta wonder. Well,
is Alexa that little speaker that talks to you in your kitchen?
Well, you gotta wonder kind of what influence that they get pushed under too. But at the same token, to this point, I expect some of their data to be skewed because I'm sure they're under regulations and stuff. But if you look at it over a period of 5 years, which I have followed it, you're seeing probably over the past 4 years, you're seeing a very slow but definite decline in participation on the internet and on the viewer participation on cable news for all the conglomerates. I'm talking Fox News, I'm talking CNN, I'm talking MSNBC, I'm talking all those guys. You're seeing a fall over the years. Now, when you enter 2016 and you watch those numbers, they're dropping like an anvil because
we're entering
done
2017
right now. And now I'm looking over.
You're saying it started last year?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at those statistics,
well, the audiences are going somewhere. Where are they going? Where are they going? Where are the audiences going?
I don't know where. I really don't know where the liberals are going. I think they're still stuck with Mr. Maddow and the MSNBC show.
WNBC,
which is totally fucking ridiculous.
Remember
all
that?
you people
When
need
Howard
to
Stern?
do when you guys chime in the morning and you guys pay attention to the Morning Joe show with what the guy's I can't remember his name.
Joe, maybe? Is it Joe?
It's probably Joe. Yeah,
Yeah, Morning Joe.
But then you
Morning
got
Cup of Joe?
Zika Brzezinski. You need to look into who her dad is. Let me take a history step backward for all you guys. Zbigniew Brzezinski, Zika's daddy. Okay, this is the guy that taught Carter. He was his influential. What do you want to call it? They call all these guys czars now. That should set off an alarm.
I always said that when
to
the
American
wording
public.
changed. Yeah,
When you inject the word czar into American politics,
Is that
dude, everybody's radar should go on
is that
high
conditioning?
alert.
Is that slow conditioning?
Absolutely,
And the media
incremental.
just let it. The media just let that word go.
Incremental.
Yeah.
So the word, you need to look at the word and then go investigate that.
You're like a czar. You're like a czar of information.
Well, whatever you want to call it, but you got to look at it. Where did this come from? Look at Zbigniew Brzezinski. This is the guy who infiltrated our own political stature and intelligence and got Carter to sign off on the okay of getting the Mujahideen into Afghanistan, which sparked the Russian war against Afghanistan back in the early 80s. This thing was a 10-year plot. It was planned prior to it. There's documentation that can prove it. They pulled Russia in and bankrupted them on a 10-year war. What the fuck do you think they did with us? If you look at the Mujahideen flag back then and that war that was flown, it's the same goddamn flag that was flown after Al-Qaeda supposedly did 9/11. Ain't buying it, folks. If you follow all this into the fact that, okay, now it's not Al-Qaeda or CIA, it is ISIL. Oh, no, and now it's ISIS. What's going to be tomorrow, folks? It's the same goddamn flag. It's the same torpedoes. It's the same missiles. It's the same Toyota trucks.
Why would they change the names like that? Why would that happen?
Distraction.
But they're changing
It's the
the
same
names.
damn group. It's the same proxy
But
army. If we went into
it's
Afghanistan,
also calling attention to their different names.
They weren't ready for World War III back in the 80s. If we went into Afghanistan and pulled in over
why
the
does
opium
everything
fields,
have to aim towards World War III?
because
Why?
that's where they're ramping. They've been trying to ramp this shit. This thing goes back to all the way to the end of the World
So
War
is it
II.
just a simple population
World War
control
One
theory,
at
or
the
what?
end of World War One, you want to start talking about the Lusitania that was supposedly being boarded by.
No, I don't. I want
the
to
whole
talk about
thing's
Trump.
a joke. The whole thing's a goddamn stinking motherfucking joke.
I want to talk about Trump.
Everything.
I want to talk about current stuff in America.
All right, now we're going.
I mean, I hear what you're saying about ISIL and ISIS and stuff, and
It's the same flag, same
we
people.
could do whole
It's all proxy
shows
armies.
on the killing of who's
What's-
that guy that
there
was
were
in
the
the
Wahha-
cave that was like
all
had like
the-
batteries running his computer laptop.
Yeah,
And
and all these idiots come out of Saudi Arabia. They're all Wahhabis. They're all funded by the West. And we got British intelligence, the Mossad out of Israel, and we got the CIA out of the United States of America, who at one point in time has admitted that there are funds, and this is documented. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not the one sitting here. This came from other reports. This came from other documents that are now declassified. We are funding these guys.
yeah, the whole declassified thing is even weird. People can actually just literally go and find the stuff you're talking about, right? Where do they go?
It's ridiculous. When
.gov or something? Where do they go?
I tell you what, one of the really neat things.
Like, is there a website just for looking up declassified information?
The opening, to my mind, the crack of the sky came out straight out of the UN's website, and then you follow their policies that these guys create. And once you understand what they're trying to do and you see what they're pushing, you can follow those policies right into our Council on Foreign Relations if you go to the CFR.org. And once you open that website, you go about 5 or 6 tabs over, and you'll see world government. You open up that tab, and this is the goddamn thing that sits as a beast upon our government that Hillary's always talked to, that what the fucking hell Dick Cheney always
and a lot of
bowed
these people
down
you're
to.
saying are just into it. They think that's the way to go.
That's the seventh floor. That's the deep state. That's what runs this fucking place. It's not our president.
Seventh floor.
That's what they call it.
Is that like inside?
No, check it out. Type it in. Check it out.
The seventh floor.
It's been known for a long time.
So the people are unaware of the seventh floor.
Yeah, it's an elevation of
You were
government.
talking about some. You always throw these big
COG.
names across, and they drive me crazy. Like, who's our Secretary of State now? The one that was in Vietnam,
Kerry.
fighting Vietnam.
What a fucking joke.
And you got the other guy you were talking about,
McCain.
McCain.
Little gimpy arm.
But here's the thing. Now, here's a guy who was a prisoner of war, right?
80
I always
years
said, I always thought, like, is it possible? And this is just me thinking outside the box and just thinking weird stuff.
Have to.
He's in a box. He's in the ground. Whatever they did when they took you as prisoner of war, it wasn't nice times. What if they brainwashed that guy and got him into politics to do their bidding? It just always seems like he's always like causing wars and
if you look at his
disrupting shit.
His
and
financial structure was exploded. I don't know if it was Stephen Pachenik. There was somebody who put it out, who actually floated it out there. The majority of his money comes from Lockheed Martin, and this is where I'm going back to the military-industrial complex with no ill.
So, like, there's no
reflection.
oversight on any of these guys.
No, there's no reflection. There's no ill reflection at all for our men and women who are forced into combat to defend something that now no longer is true. These fucking assholes like Lindsey Graham and fucking McCain, who want
lifer politicians.
Absolutely. Lifer politicians have been in Washington for how long, to be corrupted by how many, especially the Rockefellers.
For how long?
Their main money, their main influential money that comes into their own bank accounts comes from Lockheed Martin. Guess what? Guess who fucking funds the military-industrial complex? Lockheed Martin. Now go check out who owns that whole damn thing. This thing is not a conspiracy theory, and it's not really fucking hard to figure out.
So they fund what funds them.
Absolutely.
It's like they're keeping the wheel perpetually moving by themselves.
Well, and I fully expect from more and more when you look into historical events, this thing was a brainchild from the Rothschilds all the way back to the Napoleon Wars, where they funded both sides of the fucking war. They absolutely funded both sides, and they absolutely gained.
So how does any of this stop?
It's ridiculous.
How does it stop? How do you make the wheel stop? I mean, how did we get from corruption
to fucking hold them accountable? These assholes created the fucking UN, and then they created diplomatic immunity against their own laws, while some of their own damn assholes on their own fucking payroll sit there and freaking are advisors for our presidents for fucking years now. How is that allowed?
And these guys
how is that legal?
These guys are in a special club.
Fucking arrest Soros right now. Arrest fucking David Rockefeller right now. Jacob Rothschild right now. Evelyn Rothschild right now. And then you go to the head of the state. Then you start taking down the Saxe-Coburg-Gothas and go right after British Parliament. Because that's where it starts.
You have like an axe to grind with the same names every show.
I'm after him like a hound dog in a woodpile, and I ain't giving up. I want to see. We have defectors out of Blackwater right now because they saw how bad this whole damn thing stinks.
Out of Blackwater.
And they know where this thing goes at the end if they follow it all the way through.
It's brown shirt time.
I'm telling you what now. It's brown shirt time to both avails. You have brown shirt. Yeah, oh my God.
Bolsheviks.
Oh, God. Was that a fucking stinky story and a half? I'm telling you what, though. If these guys know what's good for them, and if our military knows what's good for them, I'm not personally condoning it. All I'm saying is, and I don't have the will to do this myself.
Don't say it. I know what you're saying. People in the listening,
if you're a contractor, if you're a public contractor, and you were trained to kill,
please stop talking.
You need to do a job.
Listen to me. This is some heavy shit. But this is what we're talking about. Like, is that what you're saying? The coup, the coup. There's
a coup, and there's a coup d'etat, and there's a coup d'etat against coup d'etat.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's that heavy, and these people are warriors and they're patriots, or they're whatever side they're on, eventually bullets are going to fly.
Well, eventually some people are going to come to Jesus and have that.
Oh boy,
I come to Jesus moment and say, if
God,
I do this,
Jesus music from the South right now.
And I'm serious though. They come to recognition of I've been compartmentalized with this brain set that I'm collecting this pain.
What is your religion? Are you super into Jesus? Are you like Christian? What do you follow? Are you atheist, Christian, Catholic? What? Don't know.
I don't want to be classified, and I want to be compartmentalized into my theory and my understanding, but I do believe in an Almighty, because when you look across the globe right now and see the evil that's been spewing out there has to be something out there that is there on the opposite side.
So you want to believe because it's so bad?
It's more spiritual than anything else. There's a yin-yang, and we all see it. We know karma comes around. We've seen all of us have witnessed it. We know there's a good. We know there's an evil. We know there's a bad. We know there's a good. We know there's a plus. We know there's a minus. We know there's a yes and a no and a red and a green and all the whole damn 9 yards.
That's a good way of putting
There's
it.
a duality.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. One will never go away.
And
Even if we get this country back, we best be ever on our guard to prevent all this bullshit from ever taking place ever again.
And there's also sane and insane. So,
absolutely.
So that's something, too. Like, the sane people got to really roll their sleeves up and do the right thing.
Dig in, get ready for the fight.
The fight is this week, too. You're saying
Absolutely.
that during this whole inaugural week, let's talk about all the crazy shit going down the week of inauguration.
How in the hell? I can't even get my mind around, and I've looked at all the cables. I've saw it creeping. I saw probably back to last Tuesday. I saw the leak coming out that Obama was moving and motioning that he would fire the Washington D.C. National Defense of the Coastal Guard or whatever the hell it was.
It's the Coast Guard. And I believe,
and
if I read correctly,
General Schwartz. That's his name, General Schwartz.
Don't they handle the inaugural parade?
Yes.
Isn't that like
exactly.
their number one?
They're full responsible for the security of the inauguration parade. And that Obama positioned
himself. We should
really
try to get to the bottom of the
story.
And
I'm not even fucking kidding. I thought this was bullshit right off the get-go. I'm like, okay, there's so much bullshit out there anymore. And the CIA actually put themselves in a position where, this is about a couple of months ago. You can check this out. Where and this is completely constitutionally illegal, where they had approached Obama. This thing has been on the books for over 10 years, so this thing started out when Bush was still in power.
Yeah, was that guy in power when Bush...
Yeah, so where they're basically pushing the fact that CIA could push untrue propaganda, and the bill got passed.
How old is this guy that's being pushed out of his position, supposedly?
He's been there for a while. He's been there for a long time. He's to retirement age, so to that end, it's practical. It's understandable that, at the change of the guard, I'm going to sit. I'm going to bow out. And here's what the upcoming thing was. Over from Tuesday to about Thursday, the chatter that I was picking up on was incredible. There was people within, like I said, within the military, all over the place, within our intelligence, whistleblowers, fucking spewing out stuff on the lower end cables, which if it has teeth, it works its way up to, if you can, the years that I've been in this, I've been able to follow it. So you enter lower cable, and I'm not going to bring up names right now because a lot of people don't even know where the hell to go to find the shit. So it filters up. If it has credibility, it eventually gets to people like Rivera, people like Michael Savage. If that grabs teeth and has credibility from there, then it goes up to Matt Drudge, who's incredible and is dominating the alternative news right now. And then it filters over from Matt Drudge.
Who's dominating right now?
Matt Drudge. And then it rolls over to Alex Jones, who are like a compartmentalized explosion of popularity going forward over top of our mainstream media news right now. I've watched the participation on Alexa.com. Those two channels alone, between Matt Drudge and the Drudge Report, and Alex Jones and InfoWars and his Alex Jones channel on YouTube, those two, between RT is big too, which is Russian television. Though, if you want to enter those three, if you combine those three, they dwarf everything else out there. There's more people in the world now tuning into Matt Drudge on the Drudge Report and Alex Jones on InfoWars and his YouTube channel and RT television than anything else in the entire world. I'm talking about, what is that freaking Middle Eastern thing? What the fuck? I can't even think of it.
You better take a breath, man.
It's
I'm
amazing.
Just letting you go.
They're over Times.
You're like a balloon that's overinflated.
Post. They're over the whole damn thing, man. Their participation. People are chiming in, even our military and everybody else, to those websites more than anybody else right now because the credibility. And I got to say this: there's a lot of people out there who have watched Alex.
I haven't talked in like 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Alex is a professional. That guy is an actor, and I will say this. But I love him because he has helped.
I think he was doing a show, and his shtick was that he was that foaming at the mouth guy.
He's very emotional. people think that I'm compassionate for what the hell I do. This guy is fucking on steroids doing what he does, but I get it. Because it is that serious. He just takes it to the next level because he knows that's going to capture attention. So is he using it? Well, when you're in this arena, sure, you have to do some of that to some extent. But I tell you what, there's a lot of questions on him. There's been a lot of shit. He helped bring up Mike Rivero, but him and Mike Rivero tallied swords because Mike is not pro-Israel and Alex seems to be pro-Israel. So they had a departure. And
where should people be with Israel?
That's a sketchy ground. What people really need to do about Israel, and one of my ex-girlfriends battled me tooth and nail because she just absolutely could not get her head around it.
No names, please.
And there's absolutely no names. All respect, because people don't know until they look into it. You need to go back and look into the Rothschilds' influence of the bringing up of the state of Israel and just look at it. You don't even have to delve in deep because it's all right there, right up the top.
Let's not go into that.
You can go 8 ways to Sunday and look into this, and probably within the first 5 minutes, you're going to find how heavily financed they were into bringing the state into power. They're all over it like a hound dog on a woodpile. They're there. They're present. They're ever present even to today. When you look at some family on this planet that owns and is known to own through a Switzerland firm research back in the 1980s to have over $300 trillion of wealth, somebody's got to say sooner or later, this is getting to be a little bit of bullshit, and start to challenge it and ask why.
While you're talking, I have to do something. So I'm checking out the Google and just doing different searches. And it's interesting reading. I was trying to find out who handles this who's the top security. And I don't know the full answer yet. It seems like the FBI.
No, it's there's a divided line.
They must work together, I'm hoping.
Clinton's back in when Bill Clinton, I think it was the second term. I think I don't know.
What I'm trying to get is who is the top head? Who's the top boss?
I think Clinton in his first term, if I'm not mistaken, he purged. Yeah, I believe so. If my memories call me correct, he purged all of the judicial court judges from all the states right off the get-go, right out of the gate. So then there was the intermediate who owns the say of who can judge somebody or not, and then it got to federal prosecutors. He paved the way for that law to go in. So it's not up to individual states anymore, which is complete, total fucking bullshit.
It's interesting. As you're talking, I'm reading.
And he was allowed to do this.
Listen, let me talk for a second. It says that 13,000 military personnel will provide security, ceremonial support for the next presidential...
Operation Naval Intelligence?
Doesn't say anything like that. It's saying that, they're quoting this Army Major General Bradley Becker, commander of Joint Force Headquarters, National Capital
General
Region.
Swartz. General Swartz is the one that's getting purged.
Yeah, but you're saying they're getting purged. What if I'm reading, what is the real news? Is he retiring?
The fuck?
Apparently, he's losing his power at 12:01, right
12:01 p.m., right when the inauguration begins.
Now, that's bizarre, isn't it? Why would you dump a guy?
That's why everybody's throwing the red flag, and it's not just it's not just Trump.
But is that showing Trump having concerns?
No, there's military.
Safety, or people?
Exactly. Well, and here's where it comes from. When, Soros was cornered and actually admitted to dumping double down of what he dumped into the Black Lives Matter movement in Ferguson and Baltimore that he already admitted to, and over in the Ukraine to fund the revolution over there, which is based on total bullshit. Besides him, he's the one that kicked the whole fucking thing off. This guy has been an advisor to all of our Democratic presidents, and that's proven. That's known. That's not no bullshit, conspiracy theory, or anything of the sort. It's all over. There's no doubt he's been there. So this guy, he's wanted across several countries for completely collapsing economies and entire countries into slavery of central banking reform from directly the Rothschilds. This is not me saying this. This is on record.
Everything we talk about has to get the Rothschilds.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Here's the thing. When I did the search, it's also coming up because I want to focus on. No offense. to you or anything with your Rothschilds and stuff.
I don't care.
I just want to
focus
focus
look
on.
At them.
I'm just trying to make the show about the craziness that is this week. You're saying that all the craziness is what bought and paid for by these guys?
Here, the biggest deal is that they're trying to mop up the United States. We've been on life support for probably about 40 years right now. The plug has been pulled.
But you're asking like
the dollar
that's
is
a lot
dead.
of water to come out when they pull the plug.
The dollar's dead. The dollar is absolutely dead. The last thing right now, if it happens within the next 2 months, whether the next 10 months, this is going to happen.
Listen to me. They were saying this 3 years ago.
The one and the
I remember
ruble.
the rhetoric online.
I'm telling you right now.
They were saying all this was going to happen 3 and 5 years ago with Ron
right
Paul. This was all discussed 3 and 5 years ago. Lance, we got to keep this real here.
We have no credibility unless we get prosperity back to this country and can define what we can.
Lance, you have to agree with me that this was all talked about with the Ron Paul
I
years,
agree. I agree
as far
100%.
back as Ross Perot years. It was always we're going down. Now you got Trump coming in, is going to make America great again.
So what do we do in between time? We kick the fucking can down the road more further. So when we collapse that much harder.
But you think our leaders don't have some plan in place to? Maybe we just going to have to bite the bullet, and
they don't care.
So they're not on the side of Americans.
They absolutely don't care.
There's not anybody in Washington.
How the fuck don't they care? I've been told.
Is there anybody inside the inner circle of Washington D.C. that cares about the American people?
Probably about 5 people.
Name them. Who are they?
Ron Paul.
Okay.
You got General. What was this guy that Trump just admitted to?
I don't know his name.
Anyway,
I don't know if that's the guy that was. No, what I'm saying. So you're saying that
they're all vermins. They're all power. As much as the heroin dealer is on the street dealing fucking heroin,
right?
The Rothschilds and Rockefellers are dealing money. You got to understand. You have to understand.
Every political
the
person at the
nature.
high level is completely sold out.
You mop up the United States, and then what happens? There's no other country out there besides Russia and then China, which we've all moved our power to. Thank you, Clintons, for selling all your weapon technologies out to the fucking Chinese, which everybody knows right now. That was very nice of you. While the whole damn world elite is moving everything to them, you just can't make this shit up anymore. So Russia's the only left country that's a nationalistic country besides some type of reformation here with Trump under some type of new constitutional upboot that can project these guys off for another couple, at least 10 years, maybe. So in the meantime, we're still selling uranium to Russia, but yet we want to say that they are the bad guys. So why did Hillary sign over the legislation to give them our top grade uranium out of our north central states directly to Russia? That's still going on right now. If you had a real fucking concern about Russia being a threat, wouldn't you fucking cut that off right now?
Will you stop yelling into my mics?
The idiocracy is deplorable.
Okay, but she didn't win. So is Trump part of the same train?
Why is it still going on?
Trump's not in yet.
Because they don't have power over it.
Oh. So a lot of these guys have guns to their heads.
Shots.
They have guns to their heads.
Exactly. Get it. This is what I've been trying to say over the past 10 years.
So this is what I'm saying. Even shows, stupid podcasts like the Big Daddy Road Show, Lance Romance, Alex Jones, what's his name?
We're trying to get this through. Understand.
None of it matters. None of it. If you're telling me they have the power over these top officials in the U.S. government,
that's my point.
They have the power over everybody.
You have to overlook and override everything that you're being told, breathed into.
It doesn't matter.
What
we're being told by you might be bullshit. That's what I'm trying. What about that?
The top. You have to go over the top.
Lance, you're not giving the answers. What are the answers?
Follow
what
the money.
Are the answers?
Follow the money.
What are the answers?
Follow the money.
Okay, understood. Follow the money.
Who invests in who and cui bono?
Cui bono?
Look it up.
No, I don't want to look it up. You tell us.
Who receives the reward?
Okay, all right. So I'm going to guess that lifer politicians received quite
a bit. Ain't us.
Right. But if the people band together.
So they're. Whoa.
If the people band together.
And the people won't because of the past 8 years.
Well, then what are you going to do?
Well, this little fucking bullshit puppet and power.
Well, what are you going to do then?
So then we have to ignore and learn to ignore what we're being told.
Oh, my God. You got almost quiet there. You're not screaming into the. Wait, you got to ignore and believe what?
Everything that what's being told to you. You have to question everything right now.
Yeah, but that's the problem. There's so much information to question that people have a little bit of a hard time after working 12-hour shifts to sort through all this,
right.
especially when they're getting their news from controlled news.
I agree with you 100%. So what controls the world? So they say money, so you follow the money. Guess what you find? Everything.
Everything is not an answer. What do you find?
You find the source. You find where this comes from. This is not...
But you are talking about thousands of people in key positions in high government looking the other way.
This is about shutting down everything that we were built upon.
Okay.
Because they can't have...
They're shutting us down, but nobody on our team is trying to shut them down?
Guess why?
Nobody on our side, the good people.
As soon as the doors are slammed shut and the floors are fucking mopped, you get the higher position within the world fucking government. And you get the higher paycheck. And you're protected.
No, the brown shirts were not protected. They were slaughtered.
Do you see... Well,
they were slaughtered.
That's a hopeful outcome.
No, if they want power, they want total power. If the shit you're spewing on this show is legit, if all these years are down the rabbit hole is just people over the last 30 years building this structure together to put the country down, if what you're saying is true, then it's over already. Why are you talking about it?
It's been over. If it was a hyper-accelerated awakening point, we would have resisted right off the get-go and taken it down.
So they turned the heat up on the frog in the pot slowly.
Very slowly.
It's a lot of people looking the other way and staying silent.
They knew it right from the get-go.
There's a lot of people staying silent. I just can't believe out of millions of people on the planet.
So here's my point. Go back and look at the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. Go back and look at it.
You keep saying it. We got it. That's a lot.
Look at the percentage of the compounding interest. Look at the compounding interest that they've immaculated along the way over the past fucking century.
What do people do?
When they get in that deep, you get in the swamp, shit fucking deep, where your money, your income is becoming through and funneling through the same foundation that supported the whole damn thing off the get-go. Do you cut it and then become a poor man on the street? Or do you go along with it until some point, either before you die or...
Yeah, but there's only so many people getting paid off.
Do you start to squeal?
There's only so many people getting paid off. There's regular Joes out there, Lance.
Okay.
There's millions of regular Joes out there driving the trucks and doing all the heavy lifting in America.
What's your buyout?
Tell me, your job?
What's your buyout?
I have no buyout.
What's your buyout?
I have no buyout. I'm telling you, these people have they're working.
Somebody comes along the door, knocks on your door right now, and says, "I see what you're doing. I love it."
Are you offering me money on the podcast right now?
And
I'm saying no.
And says, "Guess what?
There's people on this planet that are good people. Lance. There's people on this planet that are good people.
Sure, there is.
And there's always a move. Everybody gets to make a chess move.
You think
everybody?
You think everybody's good?
No, I don't. That would be naive. You said there's positive and negative. There's good and bad. There's yin and yang.
That's exactly my point.
But the bottom line is that it's a circular motion. It's always ever changing.
When you compartmentalized for so long making $50,000 a year, and you compartmentalized so long for making $60,000 a year, where's your wake up point where you say, I'm making $150,000 a year. I can jump from one agency to the next comfortably without any fucking insecurities of where my wealth goes, and I get everything that I need to get by, and I'm comfortable with that, to read off a teleprompter and tell the American public when I'm reading off of a teleprompter before the fucking light goes on.
Again, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. So why don't people that study the rabbit hole as much as you guys have for 20 years?
They don't have the time.
You're not.
They're working double jobs.
If you truly believe half of the stuff you're talking about, studying,
I believe 100% in what I believe in.
But then you guys should have been doing something, knowing that
there's no civil arrest anymore. That was thwarted back in the 80s by the Clinton Foundation. We cannot have civil arrest. You cannot go out and arrest a politician anymore because of fucking Bill Clinton back in the 80s.
This is getting so fucking heavy on the Big Daddy Roadshow. What I'm saying to you is that if people believe, like Alex Jones believes, such passion that this shit is going down, that these people exist on the planet, you would not just talk into a microphone about it. You would do something about it. What you're saying is that they've been spending 20 years trying to get other people to do something about it, and that's where the whole fucking weirdness gets to, in my mind. 20 years you guys study the rabbit hole. 20 years you're uncovering...
Let's go 10 more years without doing anything and see where that leads us.
But what I'm saying is what good guys are going to do something? What good guys do something?
Let's have 10 more years of not doing anything and see where that fucking leads us.
I'm asking you a question. What good guys are going to do something?
I'm responding. I'm saying let's go 10 more years down this fucking track and see where it leads us.
But that's not doing it.
No, let's just do this.
Aren't we doing it by talking about it?
No resistance. Let's believe everything we're told from CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC and NPR. Let's just go and dive into their pussies and suck their cock. And believe every fucking word that they say. Every word. And bow down and lick the boots and say, at the end of fucking 10 years, why are we the same fucking people into the goddamn fucking burn, whatever you want to call them, that the Nazis did back then?
You're talking about the Jewish people? He's fucking leaving the studio. I don't know what's going on. He's going to have a smoke. I told you he slammed the fucking door just now. He just slammed the door. I'm alone in the studio. I think what he's alluding to is that what is it going to take? Is it going to take bodies being pushed into fire pits or ovens? What's it going to take for people to just wake up and go, something's not right? Something's fucked up. It's a crazy week. It's a crazy political week. I told you this show is, look, it's just a conversation. How the fuck do I know what's going on? I haven't been going down these rabbit holes. I just have the guy on the show. He talks his shit, and you guys have to digest it. But I think we should be talking about it, and I think talk is important, and I think we can all agree that shit's wacky on the news. It just seems to get more and more retarded out there. No offense, of course, to mentally challenged people. It just seems like it just can't get crazy enough for people to go, stop the train. I don't know. I'll tell you right now, it's the first time Lance Romance ever snapped. I'm going to have to... He spiked the mic so bad just now. He spiked the mic so bad I'm going to have to spend 2 hours post-producing this shit. Gets very passionate. But what I was saying, what I was questioning is if Alex Jones and all these people that are out there talking this shit, talk radio, you have your Sirius, your XM, your... late night radio programs all over the country, and everybody's talking shit. Everybody's saying this is happening, that's happening, these people are bad, this people with the big money are controlling shit, this person sold out, that person sold out, everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price. The average everyday American schmo working on the streets has a price. Yeah. Their price is their minimum wage to middle income world. $50K maybe. Nobody making $50,000 in America is living high off the hog. They're surviving. There's people right now, it's January, in America, that I guarantee you are freezing their nuts off wearing 2 pairs of sweatpants trying to keep warm, and they're making 40 and 50K. Something's wrong. That's all I've been saying. Something's not right. America is whack. And everybody's just watching football. I don't know. What do you think? Let's hear it on the Big Daddy Roadshow fan page, or you can visit BigDaddyRoadshow.com. If you're in the service, love to hear what you have to say. I saw a meme this week. It said something to the effect of, let's care for our veterans as much as we do for the welfare recipients in this country. Think about that. Think about that and think about a lot of other things. It's a crazy, crazy political week. It's going to be crazy. They're going to be, I was doing searches. I was telling, it's the first time I get to talk, by the way. It's kind of cool when Lance leaves the room. Big Daddy gets to get a couple words in edgewise. It's saying 13,000 military people will provide security for the inauguration. This is in conjunction with all different kinds of groups, FBI, etc. I'm just doing a quick scan here. But it's saying anarchists are threatening to disrupt the Trump inauguration. I'm sure we know Black Lives Matter's looking like they're going to cause some shit. They're talking about truck attacks, dirty bombs. I mean, what is real and what isn't? We are living in some fucking crazy times. And I don't know the answers. I know questions. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's hear them. Shout out at me. Talk back. Speak up. God bless America. This is Big Daddy on the Big Daddy Roadshow podcast. Peace.